she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They
smart.
can't sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Ugeni Madonna, Imazedion, Orero, obviously Agbe, Manazo, or Ugeni Madonna.
You will have to serve the community for 30 years before you come to this stage. They will ordain you your title. Then by then you are one of the elder.
This year now, we don't read the year, so that's why we can do this year.
Historically, joining the Elders Council, an individual must have reached a certain age and must have made significant contributions to the community through leadership, service, or other meaningful ways. There was jubilation in the community as sons and daughters of Okada, both at home and in the diaspora, trooped out to be part of the ceremony with various hymns of the initiates agog with festivities. Friends and well-wishers of those initiated into the Elders Council jubilated at the Ogwedion after performing all traditional rites. The elders, known as Edion, in company with their loved ones, danced to their various homes where guests and family members were entertained.
ITV, certainly the best. This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today on the program Healthy Living. I'm Adesu Walsawagie. As you can observe already, the Harmattan is here, whether we want to like it or not, because when you see the level of dust on our streets, particularly earth roads, you will know that yes, so Harmattan don't show, you know. And there are so many persons who are very allergic to some things that happen this period. So I want to see how we can help you. I remember vividly this time last year, I was in a public transport and somebody was gasping for breath. You know, after all said and done, when the person regained herself, it was like she doesn't have history of asthma. She has not been sick like that, but she inhaled the dust and everything just got mixed up. We were quite scared, and thankfully everybody in that bus was nice. Everybody came down, the driver who was looking for water was looking for water. You know, Nigerians now, when they want to help, they help. Surprisingly, nobody brought out their phones to come and record. You know, that was nice. That was beautiful. But you know, once something like that is happening, you see everybody bringing their phone. Content creators, they want to create content from another person's problem. That's quite sad. We need to help anybody in emergency situation, not looking for how to create content out of somebody's pain. Now, let's go to what we have to discuss today. The Harmattan season and your lungs. What are the things that can happen to your lungs? Do you know? In case you don't know, I have a beautiful doctor in the house. She's Dr. Uche Ezeaputa, Senior Registrar, Department of Medicine from the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Hello, doctor. You're looking cool. This Harmattan no near you
at all.
That's lovely. All right, we're in the Harmattan season now. It is a natural season. So, but what are the things that can happen to one's lungs during this period?
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Right, we are in the Harmattan period now. It has just started. What is Harmattan? Harmattan is just dry wind that comes with dust. Seen mostly in our parts of the world, the West African countries. And when this season comes around, it comes with so many things that affect our lungs. The lungs is a part of the body we use to breathe. So, with this dry weather, the lungs get dry quickly. The lungs are protected by the mucous membrane, let's just say the oil that keeps it running.
Okay.
Yes. So with this Harmattan now, it tends to dry up fast. And that is one of the biggest challenge we have this season.
Okay.
And when it dries up like that, it's a problem. You know, the oil is not there to keep the lungs working effectively. So when it dries up, it becomes irritated. The lungs become irritated. It can become inflamed. And from there, the person may be prone to develop a respiratory problem. Thank you.
Okay. So these respiratory problems, how does it come? What are the signs? What are the symptoms?
Thank you. So when the lungs become inflamed, they become hyperactive. It can come as a discomfort in the chest.
Okay.
When the person is breathing, we say, I have pain on my ribs. It can as well come as cough. A lot of people will begin coughing at this period. Also, it may come with sore throat, dry mouth, dry nose.
Like the ones I'm experiencing already.
Oh.
Cough, catarrh, and all of that.
That is the effect of Harmattan.
Okay.
Yes, everything is dry.
So what do we do? Particularly for children first before we talk about adults, because at least some adults can take some precautionary measures, but children, they are carefree. How do we protect our children at this period?
For our children, we can try as much as possible to keep them away from dust, if possible, or limit the number of exposure to these dust particles. If it's a child that can put on a face mask, you will encourage that child to wear a face mask when going to school or when going out.
Okay.
Also, this is a season where we encourage water intake. Adequate water intake, frequent water intake to keep your mucous membrane moist.
Okay.
Yes.
And for the adults?
Likewise for the adults, same thing essentially, wear a face mask. If you are not comfortable with the disposable face mask, you can make a cloth. There are very good ones, cotton materials you can procure and wear it when you are going out. And if possible, you limit your exposure to dust, especially for adults with a background respiratory disease. Try and limit the number of exposure to this particle, this dust or windy particles. It will help.
Okay, you know, you said particularly adults with background ailments. We know that this period, those who are suffering from asthma, tuberculosis and all of that will face some serious challenges. All right, dealing with all of that, what is this person supposed to do? And at this period, I've heard, I don't know if it's a fact or a myth, that this period, a lot of airborne diseases will begin to fly. So let's answer that first. Is it a myth or a fact that this Harmattan period there will be lots and lots of airborne diseases?
It's a fact.
Okay.
Because this Harmattan period comes with wind, and this wind carries dust particles, and as well, it can trap organisms, germs, and we breathe, everybody breathes. We breathe in these things into our lungs, and that increases the likelihood of respiratory tract infection this Harmattan season. So when these microorganisms get trapped in the air, in the dust particles, we breathe it in, they go inside, the lungs are already dry, they are inflamed, they have this ability to quickly trap in these organisms, these germs, and they trigger the respiratory problems that we see in this period.
So, ladies and gentlemen watching, it's a fact that this period a lot of airborne diseases will fly. So cover your faces with face masks if you can, and limit the way you go out. We'll take a short break. When we come back, Doctor will answer the other question. Stay with us. All right, thank you for staying tuned. We still have Dr. Uche with us, and we are talking about your lungs and this Harmattan season, the things that can happen to your lungs. All right, Doctor, talking about those with underlying ailments, particularly, let's take the issue of asthma. We know that some persons don't like to carry their inhalers as a result of stigmatization. Some don't want people to know that they are suffering from such an ailment. And this period is when crisis will always come up, or emergencies will just come upon that person. What is that person supposed to do? And what are those around that person supposed to do to help this person?
Okay. So, talking about people that have background asthma, likewise other respiratory illnesses, this period they are very prone to having an exacerbation. Exacerbation means a frequent attack of their symptoms. Okay? Because the lungs are already having problems. They are dry at this period, they are irritated, they are inflamed. This person with asthma has an increased risk of coming down with repeated attacks. So this season, any person with asthma or other respiratory infection should do as much as possible to take proper care of yourself. Number one, protect yourself by wearing a face mask. Okay. Very important when you are going out, to protect yourself against the dust and the wind and every other thing. Then stay hydrated. Take enough water. Avoid any form of triggers that can make you to calm down with an attack. Triggers like smoke. If you see anybody smoking around you, please try and step away. Leave that environment. Okay. That allows people to burn anything, refuse. I think this is a period of bush burning and all.
Yeah, people will burn bushes.
Try as much as possible to stop that. Don't allow anybody to burn anything around you, because it can trigger your asthma. Okay. Also, ensure you carry your inhalers with you in case of any attack. Please don't be shy of bringing out your inhalers when you are in public. You are trying to hurt yourself if you do that. I won't advise you to do that. Bring out your inhaler and use it as recommended. Also, keep up with your health checks. Visit your doctor for follow-up. In case there are any adjustments to make to your medications, because there are times when you follow up in clinic, either your medications are step up or step down. Okay. When your symptoms are mild, it can be step down. So this period, you need to visit your doctor so that adjustments can be made to your medications.
Okay, this issue of asthma, is this something that can be cured or managed?
Asthma can be managed it cannot be cured. We manage it by taking your medications as when due, and most importantly, avoid the triggers. Anything that can trigger your asthma, avoid it completely. You cannot bleach oils to fry your tomatoes. Some are allergic to their pets, cats, dogs, even your termites, your chairs in the parlor. So it's your duty to try and find out what really
what your triggers
your asthma, and you make do away with that thing so that your symptom will be as mild as possible. Some persons live with asthma, but nobody will know because their symptoms are well controlled. Okay. That is the aim in managing asthmatic patients.
That's huge. Okay, this period, a lot of children have started coughing, and you know, like in our usual character, an ordinary cough, we just go to the backyard, pluck a fairy, pluck bitter leaf, squeeze together, give that child to drink, or we just look for this one that they call leaf of life. Just squeeze it, add a little bit of salt, give the child to drink. Even adults take it, you know. But you see parents keep giving that to their children, even when they are not finding relief. So what is one supposed to do in such a situation? Should we leave that child to just keep coughing, or others will just decide to do self-medication? What I'm trying to ask is this. You know, children, when they cough, they have this wheezing sound or some kind of funny sounds. How do we know if that is asthma or just ordinary cough? What are the signs we should look out for?
Okay, for children with asthma, when they start coughing, we are not sure whether it's asthma or any child that is coughing. You don't know what is wrong with this child. And a child have coughed for 1, 2, 3 days. Please take the child to a hospital.
Even 1 week, parents don't bulge.
We do all sorts of self-medications. It's not advisable. When a child is coughing, you've done covering up this child, keeping the child warm, giving some warm water, and child is still coughing, take the child to the hospital. Symptoms of asthma will include coughing, which may be worse at night. Patient and child may be having difficulty with breathing, may complain of chest pain. The child may be wheezing. When the child is breathing, you hear some musical sound that is known as wheezing. The child begins to wheeze. These are all the signs of asthma. The patient or the child needs to see a doctor for review.
Okay, you know, because of this notion that hospitals are quite expensive, why don't I go to this one pharmacy and go and buy medicine to give to my child? I need you to talk about this issue of visiting the chemist or pharmacy, as the case may be, before seeking the help of a doctor when the problem is almost taking over that person.
Visiting the health institution, the doctor we still have a deficit in seeking health care. When a child is coughing, you may, as a mother, you go to the chemist, buy some syrup to give to this child a day or two, which is not even advisable because you don't know why this child is coughing. You are giving an expectorant, a cough syrup, to suppress the cough. That is not good. We don't give children cough syrup because we want to know exactly. Yes, it's not advisable to give children cough syrup because the doctor wants to know what is happening with this child. Is it a bacterial cough? Is it a viral cough? And you are just suppressing this cough. It is not good. When a child is coughing, please take the child to a pediatrician for proper care.
Okay, that's fantastic. I hope my people are listening. You don't take all of that into your own hands. Self-medication, like doctor said, the damaged person. No. Okay, now doctor, you know, a lot of us don't even know when we have allergies. So how do we test for allergies?
Okay, allergy simply means the body, the immune system reacting to something that ordinarily should not cause a problem.
Okay.
This may be due to our genetic makeup or other environmental factors. Some persons may be allergic to medications, food, and some other things, either by eating it, just inhaling it, or applying on the skin. You can be allergic to anything. So when you notice some symptoms of allergy or allergic reactions, you have to find out exactly what you are reacting to, because if you don't make and remove that thing, you keep coming down with allergic reaction. And when you take a particular thing and you start coughing, or you start wheezing, or you start sneezing, or your eyes start itching you, turning reddish, or you even start having difficulty in breathing, these are the various forms of allergic reaction. And when it gets to this, you need a proper medical checkup.
But people don't go for medical checkup. Maybe maybe there's a particular chemical in your cream that you're reacting to, you don't know. The next thing, I better go buy me oil. You don't rub oil for your body. You know, but that works too. For some persons, it does work.
It's just to calm it down. Because if you go back to apply the same thing on your body, it will come back worse.
So what's the permanent cure for allergies now?
Allergies, there are medications for allergy.
Really?
Yes. There are medications for allergy which will be given to you in the hospital. The permanent cure is to remove the allergen, what is causing this allergy. When you remove it, then you are free. Except your immune system comes in contact again with the allergen.
What if the immune system is fighting itself over anything at all? What does one do?
That is an autoimmunity.
Okay.
When your body is fighting itself against something, that is described as autoimmunity.
Okay, there's this thing that I really want to talk about now. When somebody have colds, catarrh as a result of inhaling dust and all of that, it gets to a point that maybe when you sneeze or when you try to blow your nose, you bring out, you know, like catarrh has its own color, but this time around, you're blowing your nose, you're bringing out blood. Other times it's brownish, and sometimes it smells. What condition is that?
Okay, as I said earlier, with this Harmattan season, the windy air, the dusty air can trap viruses, and you inhale it. It will go to your lungs and cause problems. Things like pneumonia.
Oh.
Yes. This is a period for pneumonia.
That's huge.
When you inhale this virus into your lung, you come down with pneumonia, bronchitis, inflammation of the lungs. Okay? People that have other chronic illness, respiratory illnesses, come down with exacerbations. Okay? So when you have these things, you try as much as possible to see your doctor, because sometimes it comes down with fever. And we also encourage this season for people to go for vaccination. Actually, there's vaccines we take against the influenza virus. The influenza virus
That's
is
this period.
This period. It
There
causes.
are vaccines.
There are vaccines that you take every year to help.
Any age limit?
The influenza virus vaccine, from 6 months can take it.
Okay.
Then there is the pneumococcal vaccine. We encourage the elderly ones
to take
It protects them. It gives them this protective covering against all the things flying in the air.
What did you call the virus again? The vaccination again?
Influenza vaccine.
Okay.
And the pneumococcal vaccine. Yes.
All right, doctor. One statement of advice as we round up our show.
My advice for us is to take care of ourselves as much as possible this period, even as we go out to hustle for our daily bread. Try to protect yourself. Wear a face mask. Face mask goes a long way to protect against respiratory diseases.
All right,
and
Dr.
stay
Uche.
hydrated.
Okay, Dr. Uche, thank you so much for finding time to be with us.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, guys, you've heard everything Dr. Uche said, particularly those vaccines. The elderly, please do all that you can to go take their vaccines. They don't call off strike, just in case you don't know. The strike has been called off, so you're free to walk into the hospital as you like. That vaccine is very important, okay? And be hydrated. Wear face masks, all right? And you'll be happy you did. Dr. Uche, a pleasure to talk to you today. All right, guys, we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best. In the evening of the initiation day, all the newly initiated Edion danced to the residents of the Odion Way and also visited some homes of the various senior elders, where Chief Elder Ogbeide Onwonse was very conspicuous, especially at the country home of Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion with his family on the night of the initiation. On the following morning, as part of the rite to be performed by the newly initiated Edion in Okada town, the initiates, led by Chief Elder Ogbeide Onwonse, visited the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion, at his Okada country home residence to pay homage and appreciate him for all he has done in the development of the community, which has placed Okada in world map. They also thanked him for his role in the success of their ceremony. They commended the Esama of Benin as a custodian of Benin cultural heritage and for revitalizing the age-long tradition of the age-grade ceremony.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
ITV. ITV, certainly the best.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Thank you so much for joining us on this first edition of the program News Review. In this month of December 2025, I am Deborah Iviogbe from thanking you so much for joining us. The National Economic Council January Conda Review approved the sum of 100 billion naira subject to the final ratification by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for rehabilitation of training institutes for police and other security agencies in Nigeria. This was part of the decision taken at its 154th meeting held virtually on Wednesday.
The 154th National Economic Council meeting was chaired by its chairman, Vice President Kashim Shettima, and attended by Governor of 36 states of the Federation and the FCT minister who joined online. NEC, after deliberation, approved the sum of 100 billion naira for the rehabilitation of training institutions for the police and other security agencies in the country. This followed recommendation by the ad hoc committee earlier constituted to assess the state of police and security agencies training institutions nationwide. NEC also approved the sum of 2.6 billion naira for consultancy services for the project. President Tinubu, on the 152nd meeting of NEC in October, proposed an overhaul and revamping of training institutions for security agencies nationwide. The chairman of the ad hoc committee, Governor Peter Umba of Enugu State, in his presentation to Council, underscored the urgency and significance of the condition of the training facilities, saying most of the training institutions are in their condition. Following the presentation by the governor, the chairman of NEC, Vice President Shettima, reaffirmed the commitment of government to address the situation. Shettima also charged governors of the states in the federation to ensure that economic reforms by the state's government translate into clear, measurable improvement in the lives of Nigerians.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Our work today is a demonstration that governance is meaningful only when it improves the lives of the people. Our task is not to admire problems, but to solve them. It is not to explain challenges, but to overcome them. And it is not to hope for progress, but to engineer it with the tools available to us.
From the Asura Presidential Villa, Abuja, I'm Ikaro Atta, ITV News.
The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, says that as part of the Renewed Hope initiative aimed at empowering vulnerable Nigerians, the administration has provided 200,000 business grants to 250 persons living with disabilities across the 36 states of the Federation, including FCT. Defense correspondent John Turner reported that the beneficiaries include persons with disabilities in the armed forces and the police nationwide in commemoration of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Now, from House of Representatives, we brought you this report during the week under review that the Speaker of the House, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, said probing compliance with decommissioning and abandonment regulations across Nigeria's petroleum industry is necessary to ensure compliance with the Petroleum Industry Act, environmental protection, and to protect the welfare of host communities. The Speaker stated this at the inauguration of the ad hoc committee to investigate the decommissioning and abandonment regulations across the petroleum industry.
While expressing the demands and responsibilities of the ad hoc committee, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, says the probe had become necessary to ensure strict adherence to the Petroleum Industry Act (PIA), especially on environmental protection, host community welfare, and life cycle management of oil and gas assets.
The work before this committee has wide-range implications for the well-being of host communities, our environment, and the credibility of our regulatory institutions. The committee is mandated to examine the level of compliance by industry operators with the law and to review the decommissioning and abandonment plans already submitted by the companies.
At the inauguration, Chairman of the committee, Honorable Basi Ekiba Ekpeyong, issued summons to the Managing Director of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority for failure to provide the essential document requested by the committee.
In carrying out this work, we shall engage with NUPRC and MDPRA as primary regulator. We shall also engage with operators and licensees across all basins, host communities, environmental and safety experts.
Not well equipped to ask questions on whatever presentation you will be making, because we did not prepare well as a result of non-availability of those informations to us. So instead of waste time today listening to him, we'll adjourn and go back.
Decommissioned oil and gas facilities pose serious risks, including environmental degradation, economic loss, community conflict, and safety hazards. From the House of Representatives, Ogani Victor, ITV News.
About coming Edo State reported on the week under review that the state government granted the hosting rights for the second edition of the NDDC Sports Competition, scheduled to hold in Benin City in February 2026. The state governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, while accepting the hosting right, appealed for intervention on the NDDC in the rehabilitation of road infrastructure across the state.
It's a historical moment for Edo State as Governor Monday Okpebholo received the right for Edo State to host the second edition of the NDDC Sports Competition, scheduled to hold in Benin City in February 2026. Managing Director, NDDC, Chief Samuel Buku, said Edo was selected among the 9 NDDC states to host the competition after an inspection of sporting facilities across the state. Obuku noted that the Commission is using sports as a tool to promote regional unity.
When we looked around, we felt we have to come knocking on Edo State, because, Your Excellency, your state have also done very well by having good sports facilities. And when we looked at the facilities, we felt coming to Edo State, we might not have too much work to do.
Governor Bolo, while accepting the hosting rights for the second edition of the NDDC sports competition, pledged the commitment of the state government to partner with the NDDC in ensuring a successful hosting of the competition. He commended the improvements in the NDDC since the assumption of the 7th Governing Board led by Chief Samuel Obuku, especially infrastructure upgrade at Usain Polytechnic, internal roads in Ambrosalu University, Eboma, the Auchi Igara Road on the Benin-Abuja Highway, and other interventions across the state.
You have chosen the right state. We are not just heartbeat. We have what it takes to win every sport. I'm sure the one you hosted last year, we brought you our third 11, but we are going to release our first 11 now.
Chairman Edo State Sports Commission, Amadine Desmond Enabulele, assured that Edo State will take advantage of the opportunity to host a successful competition after the maiden edition held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State in April 2025. Kingsley Uchebu, ITV News.
Now, talking security, we reported January Konda review that students and residents of Isi Balua quarters in Ohumudumu area of Ekpoma in Esan West local government area of Edo State were thrown into panic on Monday evening last week as 3 boys residing in a hostel were adopted by suspected bandits and taken into the bush. A visit to the area by our Edo Central correspondent, Chris Omige, on Tuesday last week revealed that the hostel has been deserted by other occupants for safety.
Over the years, activities of kidnappers have become rampant in Ekpoma and environs, making it difficult for residents to move freely, especially at night, despite efforts by the government to curb the menace. The trend resurfaced again at about 6 p.m. on Monday, the 1st, December 2025, when 3 boys were kidnapped at gunpoint from their residential hostel in the Ihumudumu area of Ekpoma as they were driving into their compound, according to the brother of one of the victims.
As one is motor enter inside, I also open my backyard door for the guy going to repair gen. The next thing, the boy just they shout, "Kidnapper, kidnapper, Fulani, Fulani, Fulani." I just say my tongue. I said tongue. Now I see one just whole gun, big gun. Just follow that guy where you car enter compound. Just follow enter. Before I say my look, I say no, play something. Tiri don't already they come. They don't already they enter compound. Now once I just jump fence, I almost speak to me and that because now 3 people they carry so. That guy, they carry my senior brother, still carry one guy. This guy, one guy, they up. A junior brother, they still carry him.
The father of one of the victims, Mr. Ojo, appealed to the government and relevant authorities to help rescue his son and others, stressing that he cannot bear the pain of losing his child due to his own health condition.
My son called me. He tell me, say they don't carry Akereo. I say, carry on like na police, I will say, na kidnap people, na they carry. Where they say they don't carry the HSI bush. I beg government, I beg me help me. My son goes to sleep for side bush. My son goes to sleep for side, but me I go sleep for side. Yesterday, I don't sleep. Me they help us for other children. No, I never know where I did. I know where before.
Residents of Ihumudumu, who decried the recent surge in kidnapping incidents in the area, also appeal for adequate security measures to protect lives and properties.
We cry for governor, may come rescue, may help us. He get the power to rescue us.
Meanwhile, the adopters are yet to make any contact. At the time of this report, Edo State Police Command is yet to issue a statement on the kidnapping at Ihumudumu, Ekpoma. In Ekpoma, Chris Omije, ITV News.
From Edo State House of Assembly came the report last week that the House received a letter from the Federal Road Maintenance Agency in response to the appearance request in question on existence.
Edo Assembly witnessed significant development during Tuesday's plenary session as the Speaker, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebako, informed lawmakers about a letter from the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency stating that they would not be able to appear before the Assembly until mid-January. This comes in response to the House's request for FEMA to clarify their existence and activities in Edo State.
I just want to inform the House that we received a letter from them. That letter, that the agency will not be charged today to see us. by this letter, it means that FEMA is still existing.
From Benin, Joy Obaisiagbon, ITV News.
Also in the week, we reported that Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, approved the appointment of Dr. Ebojele Ahere Patrick as the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor. A statement by the Secretary to the State Government, Umar Musa Ihilo, Esquire, said Dr. Ebojele will be taking over from Mr. Fred Itwa, who will upon handover awaits a new assignment to be communicated in due course. The government expressed appreciation to Mr. Itwa for his contributions and service. According to the statement, the appointment reflects the commitment of the present administration to strengthen and deepen the communication channels between the government and the people of Edo State, assuring clarity, transparency, and effective dissemination of government policies, programs, and activities. Dr. Ebojele's journalism career spans reputable Nigerian media houses, where he served as Edo and Delta correspondent for Channels Television, as well as correspondent roles in New Nigerian Newspaper, Champion Newspaper, and Comment Newspaper. Now moving on. Independent television and radio, again, during the week, Konda Review was commended for its unwavering commitment to strengthening Nigeria's creative industry and supporting the growth of the film sector in Nigeria. This commendation came during a courtesy visit by the Association of Movie Producers, Edo State Chapter, to the management of the station at its corporate headquarters on Airport Road, Benin City.
Chairman of the Association of Movie Producers, ITV Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, who described the Nollywood as his primary constituent, reaffirmed the station's openness to collaborations, content partnerships, and monetization opportunities that will help producers expand their reach.
In terms of content, we have it. And I'm happy now that we can now stream and make money from digital and social media sources. Your movies are on different folders. If you don't have most of them on YouTube, we'll look for a way to gently monetize them.
Also speaking, the Provost of the Directors Guild of Nigeria, Edo State Chapter, Andrew Sawawu, appreciated the management of ITV Radio for what he described as an open door to the future.
Thank you for giving us this another warm opening. Bring your content to give you a window to do more things. We thank you so much. Doors to the future can be opened, and you just opened the one right now.
Among management staff present were the Executive Director of Finance and Administration, Lady Celerina Ujomo, the Director, Independent Radio, Dr. Dan Omozusi, General Manager, Commercial Services, Mrs. Odun Balogo, and Deputy General Manager, Program Division, Dr. Sonny Duke Okosun, among others. From Benin, Ofure and Neto, ITV News.
In case you're just joining us, the program is News Review. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, the program News Review will continue. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much for staying tuned to the program News Review. Now moving on, the management of Miss ITV Beauty Pageant Nigeria said during the week on Konda Review that the program has tremendously contributed to boosting tourism sector in the South Nigeria since its establishment decades ago, adding that this year's edition promises to showcase new innovations according to global best practices. The committee of the management of Miss ITV Beauty Pageant Nigeria, led by the chairman, Mr. Wilson Omasho, on Friday last week, made the assertion during a visit to the management of the station with contestants in a pageantry slated to hold this Sunday.
it was glitz and glamour as the contestants for the 2025 Miss ITV Beauty Pageant Nigeria stepped in the administrative headquarters of the station on Airport Road, Benin City, to the delight of the management team led by Engineer Elvis Obaseki, who was on the ground to receive the beauty queens. The chairman of the pageantry committee, Mr. Wilson Omasha, speaking on the essence of the visit, thanked the station for giving him the opportunity to serve and assured management that all the contestants have been groomed to ensure excellent performance on stage on the day.
I looked at the task ahead. I was like, can this be done? But then to say, guy, go on. We are solidly behind you. Thank God we are here today. And I can say that by God's grace, some days ago, we are ready.
The managing director of ITV and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, addressing the August visitors, cautioned the guests to be of good character and behavior and uphold the tenets of the high standard of the station's reputation, while asking them to embrace teamwork, as one person must emerge winner at the end of the event.
It's ITV Nigeria, so if you must carry that crown as our queen, we will not just allow you wear the crown and walk away and walk back to hand it over. So please, if you've not thought about the pet project, begin to think.
On her part, the Executive Director of Finance and Administration, ITV Radio, Mrs. Celerina Ujomo, gave the contestants a motherly advice on the way forward in life.
It is not easy to decide, oh, I want to be a beauty pageant. This is like a career. Congratulations. I cannot but wish you well.
Other management staff present at the meeting include the ED Operations Senior Eda Ogbede Unwonse, Director Radio Pastor Dan Omozuse, General Manager Group Commercial Services Pastor Mrs. Odun Balogun, Deputy General Manager Pastor Sonny Duke Okuso, Manager Account Fabi Lusola, and Manager Administration Mrs. Juliet Isagboin were at the visit. The grand finale of the pageant is slated for Saturday, 7th of December 2025. From Benin, Wellington Akodeja, ITV News.
From Igbinejo Education Center came the report during Wikonda Review that the center has held its annual speech and prize-giving day, a major event in the school calendar aimed at celebrating academic excellence and good character. The ceremony brought together students, teachers, parents, and administrators to reward outstanding performances and inspire others.
It was another historic moment at the Igbinejo Education Center as the school hosted its annual speech and prize-giving day, tradition designed to recognize students who have excelled both in learning and in character. The annual event is also meant to strengthen the school's commitment in raising disciplined and academically grounded young people. Awards in academics, leadership, discipline, and co-curricular achievements were presented to deserving students whose accomplishments drew applause from parents and guests. Some of the awardees described the recognition as a motivation to work even harder. They acknowledged the support of their teachers and encouraged fellow students to stay focused and committed.
I feel very excited, and I want to thank my mom for making me go far. I also want to thank my teachers for nominating me for the best behavior and most dutiful.
Thrilled and grateful to God for receiving this award. I'm profoundly humbled and honored to receive this award.
Thankful to God Almighty, my parents, my teachers.
I'm so glad, I'm so happy, I'm overwhelmed with happiness.
I thank to the founder, co-founder of this school. I thank the teachers, I thank the principal, I thank his fellow students, those ones who support him.
Principal of Junior Secondary School, Mr. Collins Emokpa, highlighted the importance of nurturing well-rounded students who reflect the values of the institution.
We designed this day to reward the students for excellence, for behavior and character. So you can see the joy and the excitement of our parents.
Extracurricular activities of the school continues. From Benin, Donald Ehimenye, ITV News.
From the judiciary came the report during Wikonda Review that the High Courts of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Maitama, granted the federal government's request to adjourn further hearing on the criminal defamation case against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan to February 23, 2026. Justice Chuzoba Oji, who ruled on the adjournment on Monday, said it will stand in the interest of justice. From the Nigeria's premier private university, Igbenedion University, Okada, came the report during the week on review that the administration of the professional pledge and affirmation of oath by the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria formally ushered 152 Bachelor of Nursing Science graduates of Igbenedion University, Okada, into the nursing profession. The induction ceremony held at the university main auditorium focused on strengthening professional standards under the theme, The Competent Nurse, Adding Value to Patient Care Through Best Practices.
Regardless of race, religion, status.
The ceremony commenced with the administration of the pledge and affirmation of oath on the inductees by the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, Dr. Alhaji Ndagi Al-Hassan, represented by Dr. Mrs. Dorothy Nkuruka Ore, a moment that officially marked their entry into the noble nursing profession. Representing the Vice Chancellor, Professor Lawrence Ezemoye, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Raphael Adegi, charged the inductees to uphold integrity, competence, and empathy, noting that the complexity of the patient care requires unwavering commitment to global best practices.
As you step into the world, you carry the hopes of your families, the investment of this institution, and the trust of the countless patients you will serve.
Acting head of the Department of Nursing Sciences, Dr. Mrs. Veronica Uge, and Provost of the College of Health Sciences, Professor Dominic Osagai, stressed that competence remains the cornerstone of safe, effective, and patient-centered care.
We are a source of hope in donating funds and foundation for building a healthy world.
We must continue to expand access to quality care, integrate digital health tools, and foster interdisciplinary collaboration to address the social determinants of health.
Delivering the induction lecture, Professor Roselyn Esewe of the University of Benin emphasized the need for a sustainable nursing workforce supported by conducive work environments, continuous training, and adherence to evidence-based practices.
We are aware that the world is now a global village. Clients are now even more aware of their health conditions and treatment outcomes even before approaching the norm.
For the inductees, including the best graduate student, care sitting gospel, the ceremony symbolizes the beginning of a professional journey anchored on service, compassion, and lifelong learning.
I want to thank all my lecturers, my friends, my family, my church, my pastors. They've been part of this journey, and I want to appreciate everyone.
The ceremony, no doubt, paved the way for a new generation of nurses ready to add value to patient care and contribute meaningfully to Nigeria's healthcare sector. From Igbenedion University, Okada, Donald Ehiminyeng, ITV News.
The last edition for the year 2025 of ITV and Radio Prayer Session, the 35th in its series, was during the week on review held in grand style as both management and staff of independent television and radio sang in appreciation of God's blessings in their lives.
Held at the St. Gabriel Hall, which is near completion of construction, the management and staff, led by the Managing Director, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, offer praises to God for His abundant blessings and sustainability throughout the outgoing year 2025. In his opening remarks, the Managing Director of ITV and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, thanked God on behalf of ITV for His provision, protection, and sustenance from the beginning of 2025 to last months of the year.
My dear colleagues, let this sink into us. Our God is too great with His wondrous works in our life. We are in business. We are hopeful. We are still receiving our life as I went due.
In a vote of thanks, the Executive Director of Finance, Lady Celerina Ojomo, thanked the Almighty God for bringing the station thus far and prayed Him to keep independent television and radio under His wings. She therefore thanked the Managing Director, Elvis Obaseki, for the wonderful initiative.
Without such a Dr. Gabriel Igbenedion, we will not be gathered here. We pray that God Almighty will grant him good health.
Some management staff comments.
What God has done for us is marvelous. There are things we cannot do by ourselves except by the grace of God. And because we realize that, that is why we try to praise God.
It has been a very enjoyable time for me. It has been a moment of really praising God. We appreciate you for the privilege given to us, for keeping us alive and for making us to progress.
The St. Gabriel Hall is 90% completed. Oluwafemi Farayola, ITV News.
With that report, we call it a wrap on today's edition of the program News Review. Do not fail to keep it there to test next week Sunday. We shall be bringing the program News Review again. I am Deborah Ivie Obefon. I'll see you next week. Do have a lovely week ahead. Bye for now.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Welcome to Women in Conversation, reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. I am Patricia Uremu-Gabriels. Thank you for joining us on today's program. We have our women seated in the house to discuss and, converse on certain issues that is affecting women in the society. Of course, I have on my right Barrister Chisom Agbofi. Barrister Chisom is a legal practitioner. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Patricia. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us again. And then we have Abiodu in the house. Abiodu is a registered social worker in the UK, and she's also the CEO of Abigail's Court Limited. Abiodu, you're welcome.
Thank you, Patricia, for having me.
And then, of course, I have my princess, my beautiful princess, Edith Madejemo. Princess Edith is an entrepreneur and the CEO of Fredet Hold Global Limited. Princess Edith, you're welcome.
Thank you, Pat, for having me.
It's nice to have you women on set again. It's going to be a fantastic discussion today, just like we did the other day. We're going to have a fantastic discussion, and so we're going to hit the ground running. Let's start by DNA. We have the lawyer in the house who's going to be talking to us about DNA. And so, should DNA be made mandatory before birth certificates are issued in the hospitals? Let's know what DNA is first before we go ahead to talk.
Okay. First of all, DNA. If we're talking biologically, they call it deoxyribonucleic acid. Mm-hmm. It's a testing that is to determine the biological status of the child, to know the paternity status of a child. So it could have serious implications legally if it turns out that the child is not actually the father. The father is not the owner of the child, or the mother, has done something, and then the father brings up a suit to say, okay, there's paternity fraud somewhere and all of that. Because I think recent statistics, it shows that over 27% of Nigerian men are falling for paternity fraud, where they find out years later that 6 children do not belong to them, or 5 children do not belong to them. And it can be also psychologically disturbing for somebody to find out that, even financially wrecking, it could wreck a man financially. You've been training 5 children for so many years, only for you to find out that none of them is yours, or something like that. So if we should say, okay, should DNA be mandatory in hospitals, I think it depends, because there are some times that 2 weeks period after a child is born, and say, as the father, do you want to go through a paternity? If you want to do it, if you don't want to do it, and after that 2 weeks, maybe then you can go.
Okay, thank you for letting that clear to us. Abiodun, let me come to you. I have asked a question, and I'm going to put the question back to you. Should DNA be made mandatory? After the lawyer had explained to us the legal aspect of DNA and what DNA actually is, do you think it should be made mandatory before birth certificates are issued in the hospitals?
I don't think it should be mandatory. It should, as you said, it should be a choice for the parents or the mother to agree to or not. I don't think it should be mandatory. But if they're like educated, tell them the reasons why. Like you said, you put it like to make sure that this is your child, that there's not been any mix-up. And then it could just be good also for the family with this thing going on. You said the percentage is how much?
27%.
Yeah, it's, that's it shouldn't be any percentage like that. So that is in men's mind that, this and that. And again, so to me, if you know that this is your child and everything, then there's no harm in it, but it shouldn't be mandatory. Then it should be like encouraged, like let it be a norm. There's some things that is a norm, but you don't have to do it. Then after a while it becomes a norm, that because it's a choice, because people are educated, that so that there's no argument, or let's just do it, and it's like a norm. But like now, when you say, oh, you should go and do DNA, it's as if, oh, you don't trust me, you think this is not your child. But if it's like, we just do it because so that it doesn't cause anything in future, and the wife and the mother, and then you do it, then it's like everybody's doing it there. But at this stage, not for it to be mandatory. I think they should just start to educate people that this is the percentage, this is it, and then you want, that's why.
Not for it to be mandatory. Thank you, Abiodun. I'm coming back to you. I'm going to come back to you. But let me talk to Edith. Edith, as an African woman, as an African woman that I know you are, do you think it should be made mandatory? Given with the, percentage that the lawyer had just quoted for us. Chisom says it's a 27% of the children not being the children of a man. Do you think it should be made mandatory?
It can't be made mandatory because I don't think it's the right or the duty of the government to enforce that. There are certain rights that the government has, and there are certain rights the human being has as equal also. So I don't think it is the right thing for the government to mandate individual to conduct a DNA on their child. I think it's a personal thing. It's an individual thing, just like she rightly said. There should be a window for a decision, whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it. You understand? Whether you want to carry out the DNA test on your child. Some people don't care, some people don't mind. But if there's any doubt, and like I said, it's a personal thing, you can say, okay, let's do it while the child is still very young. So I won't go through that route of financial wrecking, emotional wrecking that will come on the long run. You understand? So I don't think it's going to be ideal for a DNA to be done before a certificate is being issued.
Okay. Do you know why I'm laughing?
No.
Because you're saying it shouldn't be mandatory. Okay, yes, I agree with you. But then again, in a situation where, like taking example, the embassies will ask for a DNA test to be carried out, and then the result comes out negative. Carrying out a DNA test because you're trying to seek for a visa, is that not mandatory as a lawyer?
it is mandatory.
When it is necessary.
That's why I said, like, the issue of, we talked about the percentage. There's a report that says 27% of men in Nigeria, they suffer from paternity fraud. That is, they find out that these 4 children I have been training, school fees and everything, the 4 of them are not mine. You know, so if there's the case of paternity fraud where there's a misrepresentation on the paternal status of the children, then it is mandatory. You know, they've had cases like that, like you mentioned, at the embassy, and they want to, they carry out a DNA on the child to find out that you're not the father of the child, and then the husband will have to file a suit in court, and it's wrecking legally, financially, emotionally. It scatters the family. So that's why I said that, you know, when there's a case of paternity fraud, which is so much prevalent in Nigeria now, you know, women enforce maybe having multiple sexual partners as at the time they got married, and you don't even know, you're not sure which is which. So as a woman, you should be able to acknowledge that, okay, I'm confused. Because I think the problem with women is you feel, oh, I believe there's a natural way women know and say, oh, you're the father of the child and all of that. We fail to just say, okay, let us do this. Women adamant, you know, in that area, they're always
stubborn. You know, let me come in there. My mom said something as a growing up young girl. She used to say, it's only a woman that knows the father of her child.
So women.
So do you think that in such cases, these women knows that those children are not for the men, but they just kept it a secret?
That's what I'm saying. That they say, oh, they have a notion. Times have changed where, you know, even a grandma will say, I can give birth to this child, but there are complications now that even nurses of the grandmas cannot carry out on the baby. You know that. So times have changed where you say, oh, I'm very sure this is the father of my baby and all of that. As long as you are confused, you've gotten that notion that I don't know the time frame, I don't know the calendar, there's something off, then you should carry out the DNA test. But
your advice is the woman should seek for the DNA test by herself.
Yes, but
when
it's something, and that is one of the challenges when she's confused. That's one of the challenges we have with women. When there's a paternity fraud issue, and a woman is, I don't want to do it. She don't even want to do it again. Even when the embassy has found out that this is not the man's child, you're still adamant that you don't want to do it again. Why? I mean, it's clear that this is not his child. So women are always, you know, they don't really want to go through that because of what people would say. That, you know, think that's society stigma. Yeah, what will society say about me? You know, this is not his children for 6 years. We've even had cases of over 10 years. You have 2 children, and
I have a story. Your case is 10 years, 6 years. I have a story that it was 11 years.
Wow.
Okay, so this guy came into the country, met this girl, they dated, and you know, along the line they had whatever, and she got pregnant, and decided to say this guy was the father of the baby. And the guy was like, okay, no problem, I don't want to marry, but you know, we could take care of the child since you say you don't want to get the child off. And then of course they continued, and he was sending school fees, sending everything, and the child turned 11. This lady got married, had other 2 children, and you know, the guy was like, okay, you know what, let me relieve you from my own child, my daughter. Let's get her into the US. So of course, you know, all the US documentations and everything. One of them was to carry out a DNA test, and then the DNA came back and it was a 000. You know, so, and that's got everything disorganized. But she kept saying it was a mistake from the hospital that the DNA was carried, and that the guy said, okay, so what do you want me to do? He said, let me go and take your mother's blood and carry out another one in my own hospital. And the guy said, no, I'm not going to do that. Because if the embassy's hospital had carried out the DNA and says it's a 000, exactly. I mean, why do you think my mom's blood will change it, and in your own hospital, I don't know what you're going to do. So my question here now quickly is, the guy rejected the child after 11 years. Do you think it was the right thing to do?
That was traumatizing.
He rejected the child.
Yes, Edith, let's start with you. Do you
that
think
was traumatizing.
It was the right thing to do?
No, I don't know. It may not be the right thing to do, because for a child who's been in his or her life for 11 years, that's quite an age. You must have built bonding, emotional love, investment. You must have invested in that child. You know, for you to just reject the child outrightly, I don't think that was the right thing to do, because you can actually father a child that is not actually your biological child. You understand? To me, I would say that was a very harsh decision. There are some children people cater of or fund are responsible for their upbringing and education out there that are not your biological children. You can swear just this child is an innocent child. She's not aware of what happened. You understand? You just rejecting the child outrightly actually shows the level of love you actually have for the child. That's what I would say, because that's an innocent child that doesn't know what happened. I would have said you should have just take the child, take care of the child. You can decide to change the name. You can decide to change the name and
to another name.
To another name. And when the child grows up, you let the child know this is what transpired when you were at a younger age, and I still kept on doing what I'm supposed to do as your father. You don't have to be the biological father to train or raise the child. Do you understand?
Thank you, Edith. Abiodun, what's your take on that?
It's very sad. But firstly, before, I don't know, for me, because my background, I've come from the UK back to Nigeria. In the UK, before a DNA test is done, they would have spoken to the family just in case it becomes that, so that you know the consequences, because a child is involved. Everything is usually child-centered because the child will be affected. So they would analyze things beforehand. So before that test is done, the mother would have spoken to the mother, they would have spoken to the father and the child that, listen, you're going to do this test. The outcome might be this and this. What are you going to do? So that they plan ahead and they make sure they protect the child. Yeah,
Thank you.
Because to me, you do, and then you now reject.
Thank you.
The child. How old is the child?
11.
That is, to me,
very harsh.
It's very harsh.
I don't. It's from Nigeria here.
Yeah, they are both Nigerians.
They should have counselors and everything. That man should not have been allowed to do that. Yes, I know. And then again, the woman is saying that, can you take your mother? I know, your mother's blood. Maybe we don't know. Maybe because I can't say it could be genuine that she didn't know. And if she's had, then it must be an open discussion. Did you, while you were dating, did you have another partner, this and this and that? And there's something you said that a woman would know. Yeah, but
my mom says that.
No, it depends.
Only a woman knows who is responsible for her pregnancy.
I just hope that she probably was confused or something. But if she had, then there needs to be a conversation. Because to me, she would not have gone ahead with that DNA test if she had a situation that it could be the other way around. Does it make sense?
Yeah. If she's aware, of it, she wouldn't have.
Because the child is involved. And then again, I understand the man is angry and upset and maybe feels cheated and everything, but there's a child involved. Because I have while we were growing up, there was a similar situation, but not with the DNA. The man remarried, but we all knew during that time that he had a father, a child when he was young, and the mother said, but then later on in life, I think when he remarried, the wife sort of didn't sit well with her, that maybe this child maybe didn't look alive, blah, blah, blah. So she wrongfully did a test. I don't know how she was able to do the test, but I'll find out the story later. And they found out that he's not the man's child. So obviously, but the man was good, even though, and this was not the child was probably 19 or so.
Or again,
it was a girl, but they didn't reject the child.
Thank you.
Till today, I heard he's still taking care of the child.
Abiodun.
In Nigeria.
Yeah, it's in Nigeria.
Okay.
Similar, but
there was a case.
Sorry, darling. Sorry. We're going to be going on a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay. Welcome back. We're still on Women in Conversation, and I still have my women seated here in the house. I have Barrister Chisom by my right, and I have Princess Edith by my far left, right, and then I have Abiodun by my left. What we have been discussing on DNA, should DNA be made mandatory before birth certificates are issued Anyway, we were talking on that before we went on a short break. So but I'm going to bring another aspect of on this DNA. We're going to be talking of abortion. Okay. Now, we're talking about DNA being made mandatory before birth certificates are issued. But we have also seen a case where a woman was raped. In such case, do you think abortion will be the right thing to do?
Okay, well, for me, I don't think abortion is the right thing to do, because if we're looking at the biological connection of how a child is formed, the child is already living. I mean, it's a living being inside of you already. So I don't think abortion is the next thing. No matter the procedure, how the child was made, or the circumstances that surrounds the event of how, you know, the woman, whatever she went through, I don't think abortion should be the option to go. And even at that, if we're looking at the legal implication of that, we could say that abortion is not legal in Nigeria. So even maybe there are even cases where we have girls in secondary school using alternative methods to abort kids, you know, and that could even have a greater implication, health implication, right, in the long run. So I don't think it's advisable for a woman to go through abortion. I think the only condition where abortion should be allowed is when, you know, there's complication as to who to save when it comes to maybe a health issue. Maybe you should save the child or save the mother. For me, I think that should be the only reason why abortion should be allowed. Other than that, I don't think so.
Edith, in a case where there's rape, should abortion be allowed?
It's complicated. I would say it's complicated because in some cases, you know, I like to be, how do I put it? I don't like to be straight at times. I like to be okay, let me go this way. It will be good not to carry out an abortion in some cases. What if, let me be trickish, what if this person that was raped has been looking for a child for years? What if this person has just come out of relationship because there was no pregnancy? And, you know, in Africa, we don't see men having any issue when it comes to reproductive. Everything is all woman's fault. And the woman is out of the marriage, and all of a sudden she was raped and pregnancy surfaced. What do you advise in such case? She shouldn't carry out an abortion in that case. To me, that's a blessing in disguise. Yes. To me, that's a blessing, because children are blessings from the throne of God. You understand? So to me, that's a blessing in disguise. Then there are cases, rare cases, like she said, where abortion can be, you know, considered. Like health, in the case of your health, it can be considered. In the case of a teenager, maybe considered. But legalized? No, it shouldn't be legalized, because anything that is legalized in this part of the world, people will abuse it.
Misuse. Abiodun, I just heard you say amen. Excuse me, I just heard you say amen. Amen to what? Amen to.
I agree to some of the things that she said.
Okay.
Not everything.
Yeah. Definitely.
And my take on that is, it's a very sad situation in rape, and I believe that with the right network of people surrounding that person, that they can make things work. I don't believe in abortion. As my sister already said, children are heritage from the Lord. And again, the Bible says that before you were formed in your mother's womb,
I knew thee
and predestined. So that child has a destiny. Yeah, regardless of which father or
the channel
has come. As my sister said, some people are looking for children. They'll even take anybody's
child,
sperm or whatever to fertilize them. So I'm not saying this particular situation, she might be, you know, production or anything, but just look at the future. I've had, you know, one of a family person had, you know, similar issue where she was pregnant when she was young, and had the abortion, till today, she's not had any children. She's regretting it.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's the health implication.
That's the health implication.
We're talking about.
She's regretting it.
Okay,
so
I'm going to redirect this question in a different way.
Okay.
What if you were still married, the woman is married in her husband's house, and the armed robbers came into the house?
There you go.
Raped her. So, is abortion needed at this time?
But you know that if you get raped, yeah, and after you can go to the hospital, there's something that they give you to cleanse you out, which is not abortion.
Yeah, that's not abortion.
Immediately after. Yeah, just to flush. I can't remember what it is. So in that situation, there are things now that can help in that situation.
You know, in that case, what you just said, there's something there in the medical terms, the name they call it. There's something that they will give, that will cleanse your system and wash off everything that we are talking about. That boils down to knowledge and ignorance. What if the person is not aware of this? What if the person involved is not aware of anything of sort, and the person will just stay at home and wallow in pain?
You have not answered my questions, ladies. Okay. What if the woman is married and she was raped right in her husband's house and she got pregnant? Should she go for abortion, or take a walk from the marriage, or remain in the marriage and have the baby for the man?
And now they call her double wahala. Double wahala. See, go be.
There's nothing God cannot do in that situation.
Okay,
Pastor. That cannot resolve.
Yes, darling.
In that situation, you don't know whether she's had all girls and this one will become a boy.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Listen. There's nothing. You don't know. Even in that situation, God knew that it was going to happen. The man, and the husband might, he knows what has taken place. Do you understand? So then God can make it where everybody's at peace.
Okay, well, on a serious note, I would say there should be a discussion.
Definitely.
There should be a discussion between the couple, the husband and the wife. Find there was rape and is aware of it. And maybe it was in the house as well. So there should be a discussion. A heart-to-heart talk to determine whether to keep whatever comes out of it or to get rid of it. You understand? It has to be a mutual agreement.
Okay, but you said mutual agreement. So what happens to ladies, my body, my choice? If the lady, she knows how she's feeling, right? So I think in situations like this, the woman should be prioritized as to what does she want to do, how is she feeling, because there are women like that who will go through traumatic experiences.
Of course.
That. After giving birth to the child,
they'll be
they end up
traumatized.
committing suicide.
True.
Because they couldn't
I was going to come to that, yes.
Or they could even start treating the baby somehow.
Yeah.
So it depends on the woman. I think it should be the lady who would decide, I don't know how my body is feeling. Do I want to carry this child? So that's why it's important that if we know anybody going through something like that, it's best to, put them in a situation where you're encouraging them as to what they want, prioritizing what they want, how they feel. I think that's the important.
That is when you are lucky to be in a very good and understanding family.
Okay, so that.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.